Now, it's interested me for quite a while how a lot of people say that NASA are faking images, like images of the Earth, such as this famous one here, which I found here on National Geographic. Obviously it's on the NASA website as well. It's called the Blue Marble. It's a very famous image because it was supposed to be one of the first images of the Earth taken on the Apollo 17 mission while they were on the way to the moon. It's a very interesting image for a few reasons. I mean, when I first saw this, one of the first things that struck my mind, which I'm going to do another video about after this, is the blue. I mean, it's almost like a joke that they called it the blue marble, because if you think about it, surely over the ocean there's water vapor, right? I don't really see how you could take an image from space of the Earth and you would really see any blue at all. I would have thought it would be mainly white, a misty kind of white. Maybe you'd see some of these bits of the desert like you see in Africa, but over the ocean there's a lot of water vapor, and at the very least you would think it would be a sort of misty white, if not just completely white. And also, obviously when you shine light on a ball, there's a hot spot in the middle, so presumably the edges would be darker than the center, and you don't see that on this image either. You see very white clouds in the middle, like this one at the bottom of Africa, and then you see white clouds at the very extremities as well, which are just as white, and they should be darker, and there should be a sort of hot spot in the middle. I don't know what's illuminating the edges of the Earth here. It's like there's two spotlights on each side of the Earth, apparently. Anyway, that isn't really what I was making the video about today. What I decided to do was to take this exact same view of the Earth from Google Earth. So let's have a look. Okay, well this is the blue marble image, and I've put these lines across it here. I've put one line well, first of all, I've put lines at the edges so you can compare the size of this image to the size I'm going to show you in a minute, which is from Google Earth. And then I've put a marker on this tip, this tip that sticks out here from Africa at the top right. I hope you can see my mouse. Anyway, underneath Dubai and this part of the Middle East, there's Africa. There's a sort of point that sticks out, and I put a marker there. I've also put a marker that goes along the top of Africa here, sort of around Libya, which sort of marks the top of Africa. And I put another one here at the bottom of Madagascar. Okay, now let's have a look at the Google Earth image. You can see that the edges all match up, the top of the side and the bottom. Funnily enough, the right hand edge doesn't quite match up. So the NASA image is not actually a circle. It's slightly squished. They might have done that deliberately because the Earth is actually supposed to be slightly squished. Not sure why Google's image is not squished, but anyway. The most important thing I'm looking at here is the length of Africa. So the important thing is that the length of the image is the same. Okay, the height of this NASA image is the same as the height of this Google Earth image. Okay, you can see the marker on the top of Africa, goes across near Libya, is in almost exactly the same place. The marker that goes on this corner of Africa is almost exactly the same place. In fact, you can see the bottom, what is it, Saudi Arabia? It almost matches up almost perfectly. Two images are almost identical at that point. Almost exactly match up at this part of Africa. I'm not sure what it's called. But if you go down to the bottom, you'll see that Africa seems quite a lot bigger in the Google image. This line here is marking roughly where the bottom of Africa is in this NASA supposedly photo, and this one marks the bottom of, well, let's just talk about that. Talk about the length first. Okay, so I've got this line here which marks this point. This one marks the top of Africa, and this one marks the bottom. Okay, so when we look at the Google Earth image, we find that it's quite a lot longer. And look at how big Madagascar is. Look at the size difference of Madagascar and the position. It's in a completely different position. It's much bigger. Now I've also done I can also overlay these images. I'm not sure if you're going to find that better to look at or not, but anyway, let's just do a 50% overlay. Okay, so that's the Google Earth. That's NASA. Now just look at the top part of Africa, this top corner that sticks out. You'll see it's a very near match, and then Saudi Arabia is almost matched perfectly. But look at the size of Africa, the length of it, and the width at the bottom. It's completely wrong. How could that be? Surely Google Earth is supposed to be a perfect representation of the ball Earth, isn't it? Something's funny here. Something's strange. It doesn't seem right. And something else that I noticed as well. Look at the colour of this lake. This big, massive lake in the middle of Africa. It's almost black. And compare it to the colour of the sea. I mean, obviously this isn't a photo, but what I'm getting at is that this is a composite. It's a composite image. Google Earth is made up of loads of little pictures taken from satellites. And you see how they've colorized the sea to look this blue color, which is almost exactly the same blue as you see on the NASA image. It's almost as if NASA told Google to make sure that the sea was the right blue color. Because I think if you actually took a photo from, well, I think an actual photo from space, the sea would look more like that. It would look very dark colour. It wouldn't look shiny blue like this. And in fact, you probably wouldn't even see it because of the clouds. So I've made a colorized version as well. So if you look at the Google Earth image, I've made a colorized image, which is exactly the same, just colored in. Okay. And then I've made a colorized one of the NASA blue marble. Okay, which is exactly the same but colorized. So let's just overlay these two. And again, you can clearly see the outline there of Africa. The top it matches almost exactly, but the bottom bit is completely wrong. And this can't be just because I haven't positioned the Google Earth image perfectly. It's not because of that, because you can see the heights are correct and the width is just slightly off, but not as far off as you see those two lines the two outlines of Africa here. In fact, I'll even put another marker in here. You see how wide that is? And look at how wide that is. Let's just go back to the real colour again. Look at the width changing. In fact, I could put even another marker in there. See, the width here seems about right. The width of the left side of Africa is totally wrong. I mean, just look at that. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the edges. Do you think you think if you were in space, the clouds would look white at the edge of the Earth? Wouldn't it be darker? Wouldn't it be just white in the middle and then fade off? And the blue. Do you think that you think you would see the blue of the sea on the edges of the Earth would look the same as the colour of the blue in the middle of the Earth? Oh, and I didn't even mention Antarctica. Take a look at Antarctica. Isn't that a bit wrong? Look how big Antarctica is. It's not that big. I think this is pretty much the smoking gun proof that this is a fake image. In my next video, I'm going to show you more proof that this is fake by looking at helium balloons in space. So this is the Apollo 16 Earth image again. So I'll do the second bit of contrasting again, where I turn up the brightness and turn down the contrast. So basically what they've done, what it looks to me like they've done, is they've taken an image of the Earth, a painting or whatever it is, and they've done this cropping here. They've cropped it to look like this part is in shadow. Okay, but clearly when they cropped it, it was too hard of an edge. You see this? You can see where they've cropped this original image all the way. They've cut it round here, they've cut it round here, and then they've continued this cut like this, and you can see the continuation of the black line, and that's how they've cropped this original image. I have no idea why they made it like this, but that's clearly what they've done. And then this fuzzy part that extends beyond the crop line is the shadow that they've obviously added afterwards to make it look softer. You see? See all that shadow that's appearing there? That's the shadow they added to cover up that hard edge. You see that hard edge there? Just disappears into this shadow. And that shadow is what you can see in green. It's appearing in green there. It's been overlaid. For some reason, they've actually overlaid more clouds. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, they've kind of, I don't know, they've probably done a couple of things there. They've probably overlaid a few clouds to try and hide that line, and then they overlaid a sort of shadow. But I mean, anyone who doubts this, you've just got to ask yourself, okay, like, what, you think they cropped out a real photo of the Earth? You think when they cropped it, they just happened to crop it? exactly across where the shadow is meant to be of the Earth. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? If you were going to crop out an image of the Earth, you would just crop it. Well, first of all, you'd probably crop it as a square, but if you were for some weird reason going to crop it as a circle, you'd at least crop it around here so you would still see the shadowy bit in the image. Why have they cropped it exactly where the shadow line is? I mean, it's obvious, right? Because that's how they made the shadow, was by this cropping. Okay, so if anyone out there doubts that NASA have made completely fake images of our world, this is pretty much 100% proof, cannot be disputed. I made a video about this last year in May 2015. I'm remaking it now, trying to make it a bit more better quality. Okay, so if you haven't seen this before, I'll explain to you again what happened. I was looking into this subject of the Earth images being fake, and to be honest, I didn't believe it. I thought it was ridiculous. So I went ahead and I downloaded all of the pictures of the Earth I could find from the official NASA sources from this website. This is nasa.gov. I don't know if you can see at the top here, and it's from the Goddard Space Flight Center. A guy called Ed Gray-Zek, who seems to be in charge of it, and someone else called Dave Williams, who actually wrote to me about this. Well, I'll come to that in a minute. So just kind of by chance, I ended up looking at these pictures to see if I could find anything strange about them. I downloaded this one, the Apollo 16 image of the Earth, and I decided to put them into Photoshop and change the contrast to see if I could find anything. And this is what I did. So I adjusted the brightness, I put the brightness up in Photoshop, and then put the contrast right down. And immediately you can see that this has been cropped. You might not be able to see it that clearly, so I'll do it again. And now you will be able to see, you turn the brightness up full and the contrast down, and what on earth is going on there? Now at first, I don't know, people that are familiar with Photoshop will, and just photography and just graphics in general, will obviously see that this is very strange. But for other people, I'll explain what's going on here. As I've contrasted the picture, there's two different color blacks. It should all be the same black, but this is obviously not really black. So the only way that's happened is because the image has been cropped. This was one image behind, which had a very black background, and they've cropped it and put this other image overlaid. They've overlaid another image. If I step back, I'll just undo that for a minute. You can see here, I mean, the two color blacks are not really that different. You can't tell the difference, but when you contrast them, it immediately becomes obvious that that's not a photo of the Earth. That's two images that have been overlaid. Now, you can see, I mean, if it was just a cropped image of the Earth, I might forgive them and just think, okay, maybe they just cropped the image. But if you look closely, you can see here that this cropping line actually is visible through the Earth. It continues down here. It becomes blue, and you can clearly see that this is the same line that continues down here. And then even more bizarre, this black cropping line suddenly re-emerges down down here. Oh, sorry. What's going on? Yeah, this blackness somehow re-emerges down here, actually behind the clouds. So you can see this line continuing down, and it's actually visible behind the clouds. So they've actually cropped an image and then they've overlaid clouds over the top. There's no other way this could look like this, and there's just no other way that could look like that. And you can see the reason why, if I undo that again, the reason they've done that is because they've cropped this image to make the shadow appear there. You see, where they've wanted to do the shadow of the earth, they've just cropped the image, and then they've sort of done some other stuff afterwards to sort of smooth that edge off. It's absolutely incredible. When I first saw this, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Look at that. As fake as it gets. And anyone can replicate this. You can get hold of the image and see for yourself. You can do exactly what I've done. Which brings me to the next part, which makes this even more amazing. After I first uploaded this information onto YouTube, after the video got to about 2,000 hits, I got a message from someone telling me that this is the original video. I got a message from someone saying, "Oh, NASA must have seen your video because they've actually changed the image." And I really couldn't actually believe it. But lo and behold, yes, if you go to this webpage now and you download this exact same image, you will find that you will not see what I just showed you, because they've actually altered the image. They actually watched this video. I mean, the thing that blows my mind the most is that NASA must actually have people who their job is to actually trawl through YouTube videos and like stuff like this, and then they must have actually had a meeting and said, you know, we need to change this image because someone's made a YouTube video about it. I mean, that just really blows my mind. And you know, maybe that's what they're really doing in Area 51. It's nothing to do with aliens. They've just got people there altering and creating images all day long. You see, this is before, and this is what the image looks like now. If you do the same contrasting with the new image, they fixed it. They fixed it away, so it now looks how it's supposed to look. It's absolutely incredible. But the other thing that really blows my mind is that they're so incompetent that they even screwed up the new image. If you zoom into the new image, you can clearly see. That there's sort of brush marks around the edge. I mean, what have they done here? It's all like brush marks. There's also weird edges. If you look at the this is the uncontrasted version. Hang on a minute. No, that's not. That's the yeah. I might have to. I'll actually just. Why don't I just do it online? Here we are, live. This is the new image, and they may have even changed it yet again, because they have. They've actually changed it again. They've gotten rid of those brush marks. That's absolutely amazing. Yep, the last version of this image. This is it, new modded image. So this is it here. I'll open Photoshop. Yeah, this was the new modded image that NASA changed. Look how completely messed up that is. Do you see these this brush marks? That's how it looked. And on top of that, it's got all these weird like box patterns all over the image. But they did something really weird. There's a line here, and all weird little boxes everywhere. Can you see here? There's like boxes. Yep, that was the new version, and it seems like they may have even now done a third version, because yep, they've actually gotten rid of the brush marks at the top left here. Absolutely incredible. So anyway, there it is. Look, before and after. So they actually watched my video and actually changed the image to try and cover their backs. And on top of that, I even covertly wrote an email pretending to be a school kid doing some kind of project on images of the Earth. And I said to them that that I'd noticed that the image had changed, and I actually got a reply. I sent an email to Ed Grazek, and I got this reply. He said from Dave, who I presume is this Dave here at the bottom of the page here. You can see Dave Williams. He is one of the curators, and he actually replied to me and said, Ed Grazek passed your question on to me. It's true. We did recently put up a new version of that image. I'm amazed you noticed. The old version was scanned from film that had some scratches in the background. So we had processed the image to remove the scratches. When we got a better image from film with no scratches, we decided to use that. So I replaced the old one with this one, probably shortly after you downloaded blah blah blah. And then he says here, you have good eyes, maybe you can come and work for us someday. I don't think so. So there you go. 100% proof that NASA make fake images of the Earth. And you know, for anyone who's going to say, oh well, that's a perfectly valid reason, that's not a perfectly valid reason, because he's saying here that they got a new image from the film. When we got a better image from film, so he's saying they went back to the original film and they rescanned it. I'm sorry, but this image on the right here, there is no way that that is a new image that's been rescanned from film. Oh sorry, it's here, look. This is how it looked. That's a new image that's been rescanned from a film with all these weird brush marks. That's just absolutely not true. So there you go. NASA does make fake images of the Earth. And I'll just leave you with the original. Are you telling me that this was like this because of some kind of scratches on the film? Yeah? There you go. 100% proof that NASA makes fake images of the Earth. Now, if you are one of these people that think that we went to the moon, the Apollo missions, they went there, they took these pictures of the Earth, which proves that the Earth is a ball, then I've got a little bit of a shock coming up for you. You can see here this website. This is NASA's official nasa.gov website. You can see the URL here. I will copy and paste that into the description afterwards so you can verify everything that I'm saying here is true. So this is a list of all the Earth images from all the various Apollo and Gemini missions. So if you have a look here, Apollo 15, this is an image, a photo supposedly taken by NASA when they're on the way to the moon during the Apollo 15 mission. Now, I don't know if you can see this, you should be able to see this. If I just mouse, hover over this high resolution image here, you can see the image name. It's called A15H911233. I'm not going to re-download it, but anyway, if we I've downloaded this image already, and I will now open it up in Photoshop. So you can see here, this is the image, A15, 415, H91, 12343. Looks like a very nice image of the Earth. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think it looks like a painting, but you know, let's just presume that it is a photo. So I'm just going to go to adjust the contrast, brightness contrast. I'm just going to turn the brightness up. The more you turn the brightness up, the more painting-like it looks. Especially this area here, it just looks very much like a painting in here. And something else I noticed which is very peculiar is if you turn the brightness right up, turn the brightness right down and the contrast up, you notice these little patches of cloud that are really bright. But that's just one thing. Look what happens when we do the opposite. Look what happens when we put the contrast down and put the brightness up. Ooh. Do you see this line? What's that? Why is there a big black line around the edge of the image? So I'm just going to do that again, just to make it really clear to you. I'm going to turn the contrast right down, and I'm going to turn the brightness up some more. Now that's very strange for a photo, wouldn't you say? If that's a photo, why have they cut it out like this? Most photos are square, not round. So that's the Apollo 15 one. And you could be forgiven for possibly thinking that, I don't know, maybe they cut this photo out for some reason and just stuck it on a black background, just, I don't know, because they didn't want you to see the stars or something. I don't know, I mean, what kind of explanation you could have for that, but you could maybe be forgiven for thinking that they just, I don't know, did that to clean the image up or something. What's this? A bit of light that's emanating off the edge of the Earth here. It's an interesting anomaly as well, I've just noticed. What's that? Okay, anyway, but you could maybe be forgiven still for thinking that that was a real photo and they just for some reason cropped it out. So let's have a look at the Apollo 16 image. Well, let's just so you know that these are real images from NASA. I'm going to go back here. Yeah, Apollo 16, full Earth image, high resolution TIFF. It's called A16 H1181885. Supposedly taken with a handheld Hasselblad camera. Way to the moon. The Apollo 16 mission proves that the Earth is bald and they went to the moon. Here it is, A16 H1181885. I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to turn that contrast down, turn that brightness up. things going on. Firstly, why is it even cropped at all? Secondly, why does the black cropping line go through the earth like that? Like what is going on there? It's like the cropping line continues through the earth, and you can actually see. But then here there's more earth, and then here there's, and then you can see the cropping line actually through the clouds and the image. I mean, that is just so fake. I just can't even. I mean, anyone who thinks this is a real photo of the earth really needs to get their head examined. I mean, look at it. Just this. Look at this bit here. These are the clouds and stuff, right? That's supposed to be like the clouds actually go past the edge of the earth and up in the atmosphere. Past this cropped edge of the earth, I should say. Supposed edge of the earth, which is supposed to be where the earth is sort of in darkness because there's no sunshine on it. When you turn the contrast up, you can see that that is not actually the edge of the earth, because the shadows are going across it. And you can see that it's cropped, and you can see that the crop line goes actually through the earth. Which is just extremely peculiar. Why would the shadow on the earth somehow continue up into space? Case closed on that one. But if you want to have another laugh, let's just have a look at this one. Clementine. This is a image from the Clementine mission, which is supposed to be a high resolution image. Clementine. This is apparently a high resolution image. 70 high resolution images were taken to form this mosaic. I mean, you'd think that'd be a real high resolution image, right? It's a colour mosaic. That's a high resolution mosaic. 1994. Pretty good cameras in 1994. Doesn't look very high resolution to me. In fact, it looks kind of like a painting you'd find in a charity shop done by a child. But that's besides the point. What on earth is this?
It's me.